Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack, and I am Jack Talcott. I will be dropping the link here shortly. I kind of spaced it out in the introduction. I got so caught up in the broadcasting part of this journey. Sincerely, all of you joining in already, my sincere gratitude. Today, I am filled with some new inspirations, some new observations on life that I hope can be helpful for everyone, anyone tuning in. And you know what? Let me just drop this and get this out of my way. Go ahead and drop the link for those who do wish to join today. Today, the topic is really about growing with appreciation, because life is about growth. And it's so easy to lose sight of gratitude, things to be thankful for. So that's what I want to talk about today, to be honest. And the thumbnail, the more you practice the art of thankfulness, the more you have to be thankful for. It really does. The good compounds, it multiplies. That's natural, that's nature. So what I found for myself, and what I encourage everyone to consider for yourself, please, you can grow a perspective of appreciation. Just recognize that. There's always room within yourself for more gratitude, more appreciation. And by growing, recognizing what you gain, right? By growing a perspective of appreciation, you then create yourself a freedom to be joyful, to be complete, right? And that brings forth happiness. It really does. And I'm a pretty happy guy, despite some of the accusations and such. But hey, here is a bright light that I want to welcome back, because I felt I was rude last time. But let's not jump into that. Welcome, Sofia. How are you?
Hello, Jack. How are you doing?
I am feeling blessed. I truly am.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you are.
And how are you? How are you feeling?
I am not feeling the way that I would like to feel at the moment, because I've chosen to be angry right now. Not at you, Jack. You weren't rude to me. I don't know why you think you were rude to me, because you weren't. I left you a comment earlier. I don't know if you saw it or not. How in the world have you dealt with certain people for this length of time? How have you done it? It's insanity. It is pure insanity. And I'm done trying to be nice. I'm done trying to understand their point of view. I am done with all of it. They are insane.
Sophia.
They do the exact same things they accuse you of doing. Paul just admitted on his stream to me and everyone that he basically survives off of donations given to him by people who watch his channel. Now, I have a question. For people who allegedly stand for rights and freedoms like they say they do, how come they can't get off your back, let you live your life the way you see fit, and do what you need to do on your rights and freedoms? Where is the miscommunication? Is it rights and freedoms just for them? I'm so sick of those people. And I am tired of holding it in. And I apologize that I'm taking it out on your channel, but somebody has to say it. Sophia. They are liars and they're cowards.
Hey, my friend, I love you.
I love you
So,
too, Jack, and I'm sorry for
so
what they put you
no,
through.
no. Let's join together here and
It's sanity.
let me please. I want to help you.
My
I want to
anger has
help
hit the best of me. And I
I want
swear, like I could physically hurt one of them right now. I could.
well,
If I
but
knew where they
Sophia,
were, I would go assault them and
but
get myself
Sophia,
locked up.
you don't have to though.
Oh, I'm not
And
going to. I just feel like
I
that
know,
way.
I know, and I want you to feel differently if you can allow us
I have
right
felt
now.
differently this whole
Right.
time. Like I
Just,
had genuine care for them, but they
Mhm.
push so hard and won't understand where a person's heart is coming from that now I don't give a crap what happens to any of them. Whatever they have got coming to them, karma is knocking on their door hard. And I don't
Sophia,
care. I
Sophia.
will lose my religion over this.
Oh,
I'm
please.
so sick of it. How have
I
you
know.
dealt with them? How
Can
in the
we,
world have you dealt with them, Jack?
by God's grace, by God's grace and my will to find forgiveness, that has brought me peace. And that's what I want to help you with, okay? If you'll allow. Because,
I'll listen. Yeah, I'll listen.
sister, you are in the right spot, okay? And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you feel safe, right? That you feel safe to air your frustration, and you're resonating with me. I
Yes,
feel that.
yes,
Thank
I
you.
feel like I can say it to you, and I appreciate you allowing me to vent it to you.
Um, this is actually kind of the topic I want to talk about today is how to feel safe and how to help others feel safe. I think it's important for us all to realize these things because Sophia, what you're describing is accurate. Your words are truthful, but it's a lesson for us all, right? And today, really, the idea is how to let go and how to appreciate, right? Realizing this is an adventure, this game of life. It really is. And there's rules to it. One of the best rules is to have faith. Faith in what, though? This is the topic I wanted to get to is faith that God loves you so much that all the heavens and the earth were created for you to discover and explore as you grow into you, your character, and who you are. All of us, that's what we're doing. And what the topic that I really want to offer people, it's a reminder, okay? There is a God who loves you so much. The world doesn't want us to realize how much God loves you, but the evidence is clear once you start looking for it. And one of the lessons I was reminded of, I believe I put it in the description of the I believe I put in the description of the video, um, once again, a video by Aaron Abke. He inspired me with some of these ideas. The rules of life, they're actually pretty simple. Welcome, Hank. Another bright light and guest. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing really good. So I'm trying to look for something to share.
Okay.
It's in the window. Just keep going.
All right.
I need to look some
Yes.
stuff.
Please and thank you.
I'm
Welcome.
gonna wait till Paul rejoins us because he needs to see how predictable he is. While pretending he can read everyone else's mind. It is horrible. It's very annoying. It's frustrating.
Thank you, Hank. You just hit the nail on the head. He thinks he can read our minds and he puts words in our mouths and he won't let us talk on his panel. So thank you, Jack, for allowing us to speak with you on your panel.
Yes. He thinks he read our minds while being predictable as fuck.
He thinks real minds what?
He thinks
Hank?
he can read our minds while
Oh.
being stuck in a loop, being predictable as fuck.
It's fascinating here, and Sophia, please. It got to you a little bit, all right? So if you can mentally and emotionally detach yourself from it and see your experience from a higher mind and realize how juvenile and it's kind of comical in a sad way, but find the humor in it.
Oh, it's absolutely hilarious. I will
Yes.
agree with that, because the hilarity of it is he and his monkeys, his flying monkeys, because he is a narcissist and he has a team of flying monkeys, they are all insane. He wants to talk about judging you, and as does his chat, is constantly, well, Jack could have got a job, and Jack could have done this, and Jack could have done that. Yet every single one of them, every time I happen to tune in, I am busy. I work. Yes, I work from home, but I have a life and I'm busy. I'm not on here 24/7. If they see me, it's because they're on here 24/7. It is just beyond me. It's been over a year and a half now. And thanks be to God, I am not the person that I was when I very first met you and when I very first came to YouTube. I am not that girl anymore. I am fine. I am happy. I have a blessed and thankful life. I stay in thankfulness. I just happened to needed to vent my anger towards certain people. And anger is a healthy emotion, and it is appropriate at times. It is appropriate at times. And when you are constantly silenced and judged, condemned, and everything else that they do to everyone, they have been through so many people. Look what they did to Lig. Look what they did to Wizard. Look what they did to Tarek. Look what they did to Bex when she first came, and then she went back to them. Like, the list is so long, I cannot even remember all of the people that Paul Unslaved and Unslavia has been horrible to.
Yeah,
And done these things too.
Let's make a prediction right now. I'm gonna make a prophecy. O'Shea will be gone soon. He'll be
OTW. I tried to warn OTW. He's next. Paul is going to completely decimate OTW, and OTW is going to wonder what happened to him.
Yeah, OTW and O'Shea are probably the next couple in the shopping block. You can play it back.
Paul goes through people like somebody in a stripper joint with dollar bills.
Yes, and the explanation is they're too afraid to ride and die with him because they had minor disagreements, or they just didn't do what he wanted fast enough.
They're too afraid to tell him, Paul, you need to lose weight. You need to get on a nutrition program. You need to exercise. And if you have land, you need to be planting your vegetable gardens like you said you were going to do 2 years ago. Where's your results, Paul? None of them ever ask him that. None of them.
No, I had. So he wants to say, well, he told me to get out of his life. Then he comes back and watches me and Jack Talcott like half the week. So, well, isn't that contradictory? Isn't that contradictory?
Other than to watch other people on YouTube 24/7.
Well,
exactly.
Here, can I want to pause because Hank, you've got something. Should I bring this up?
Yeah, go ahead and show this email. We're probably gonna show it again today. This is an email sent to Jack Talcott today, predicting that Paul was gonna watch Jack Talcott's show today because he lost Talcott clip collections. So
oh my God, that's hilarious. Talcott clip collections is gone.
He hid all his videos. He videos. Okay. So I predicted that Paul's going to be using Jack for content today. So it's a prophecy. We'll see what happens, but it's pretty predictable because he's in the loop. Oh, I called it. You're looping. You're predictable. You think you read our minds, and you're just sitting yourself. You're in the hall of mirrors, Paul. You're in the hall of mirrors, and you don't want to hear what I have to say.
It's
But you know what? Since I know how you think, I'm gonna say I'm the one true narcissist. If you call anyone else a narcissist, it's fake news. How about that? So I know your moves. What are you gonna do now?
how about let's bring it back to us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because this is an interesting experience that we are sharing, right? And there's some interesting characters in this experience that we are sharing, not only online on the YouTube stuff in these panels and chats, but there's some interesting characters in our communities, in our world, everywhere. And here, let's bring it more to positivity if we can, right?
Excellent.
So this morning I got up and beautiful sunny day, and look at the calendar, and here in my community there's a group called the Homeless Coalition. And each month a group of the community leaders, nonprofit leaders, and city officials, they get together, trying to deal with a common problem that's everywhere. And in a recent stream, I mentioned how, I went to city council meeting and then to the court hearing, and I observed, I'm watching life as an experience, right? I'm observing life and what is happening. And at city council and at the court hearing, I saw members of our community divided over budgets, divided over rules. And this morning, I know my community is not unique. I know there's heroes in most communities who are doing a lot in service of others. And this morning I got to see a room full of heroes. And that gives me hope. Community coming together, working together for solutions of people who have problems that are not their own. Brothers and sisters, that's why we're here. We're not here to fight with each other and argue. We're sure as hell not here. We're sure as hell not here to be slaves to some corrupt banking system and some political system that's gone awry. We're here to bring forth the love of God, to show the love of God through our being. And it's really, the more I'm practicing this, the more I'm gaining in confidence of this, that we are here to walk with love, with faith in love, to be love wherever we go, in our best ways, even if it's clumsy. But, what is love? Love is patient, kind, does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, doesn't dishonor others. These are the ways of the corrupted world, that we dishonor each other. We become false witnesses to each other. I've been practicing in this, and this is why I think the reminder that I wanted to share today, I want to plant these ideas within whoever tunes in, whether it's here now or in the later. I want to plant these ideas to remind you to consider how much God loves you. And here's how I've been learning to find it. I clear my mind of memories and my imagination, unless it's fun and pure and healthy. But I've practiced becoming more curious. And here's the reminder from that video I mentioned, Aaron Abke. Look at your life as your guru. Life will teach us the lessons. So pay attention to life around you, life within you. Life, well, I think life is the natural expression of our God's love and the natural laws of creation are created to support us. Mother Earth and the balance of the planets and the stars, however it works, that's evidence. And, you know, we get the warmth of the sun, that beautiful, beautiful, mysterious glow of the moon at night, the tides, the oceans, the diversity of life. It's all for us. It's all for us to share, not profit from, right? So some of the thoughts I wrote down, and I appreciate you guys being patient. The reminder that our bodies, who we are, in our body, we create these characters of who we are, what we think is so important. Well, our body and our persona is a character. Like that movie Avatar, we're here experiencing an experience, using this body for the purpose of experience. And we're characters. And if we play by the rules of the game, you pay attention. The universe is the law. What is real is the law. The law is one. There's one universe. And the law of oneness is love. Love is that which unites us. Love doesn't divide. Love overcomes the divisions. And that's what I've been realizing for myself. Love will conquer. Love conquers our fears.
Jack, may I interject momentarily?
Please.
I appreciate what you're saying, and I know that what you're saying is true, and I know that that's the right way to go, to have forgiveness and to let things go, which I have done most of the time over this past year. I really have. But there does come a point in time that I literally take that Bible verse where it says, shake the dust off your feet and move on. There comes a point in time that you have to do that with certain people, because we literally are casting our pearls before swine. When people think they are better than everyone else and that only they have any truth or wisdom or knowledge and understanding, only they and their select little handful of people know what's going on, that's a big red flag. And I am stepping away from it, and I encourage you to step away from it, because Paul is a narcissist. He will try to hoover you back in. Jack, I strongly urge you. I know you want to show him love and kindness and forgiveness, but Jack, he is dragging you down. Please don't let him keep taking you down, because he mocks your personality, as do all of the people in the chat. Just because, so what? You have idiosyncrasies. We all do. We're human. God made us, everyone, individual and different. None of them are perfect with their little typing fingers all over the place. None of them are perfect. If they want to try to project like they're perfect and they have it all figured out, and I strongly, like Jack, I just almost beg, separate yourself from all of them, because they are dragging you down.
Here's the thing, Sophia. I need to tell you a secret. So the DSM was written by a committee, but the committee of those people who wrote the DSM would be classified under their own system as narcissists, and the recommended strategy to deal with narcissists doesn't work. What you actually have to do, rather than no contact, is pretty much
go no contact.
It doesn't work. Exactly. No contact doesn't work. That's what I'm telling you. It's a lie.
Oh.
Their recommendations are a lie because they want to keep their cartel going. It doesn't work. You have to use love to keep them fair. You can't. No contact doesn't work.
I agree, Hank. I actually do.
I think that God loves them. I do understand that God loves them. And someday I hope I love them again. Right now, I don't love them because they've been nothing
Well,
but cruel to me. And I don't have to love them.
Sophia,
I don't have to.
Sophia, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to remind you there's other things you can turn your attention to. You don't need to remind yourself what you don't or what they don't. Remind yourself what you do, right? And you do love. You love others, you love yourself, you love
This is
me
hard.
enough to caution you.
I energetically put love into the universe for those people specifically. I energetically did care and put forth that kind of caring that I feel is from God. And now that I've been shown that it's not wanted, then fine. I don't need them. I'm fine without them.
But Sophia, you're not supposed to be codependent anyway if you're with God. So my question to you would be, why are you basing any feelings on a situation that you had, for example, with Paul or anybody, based on how you love or hate that person? If you're a godly person, you would love that person regardless.
You're right, Tarek. You're right. You're right. And there have been moments in my life that I literally have loved them and sent love to them in an energetic way. But right now, I'm distancing myself from all of that. But I
And so,
appreciate what you're saying, Tarek. You're right.
and here two things, if I may. What Britt said, yes, sometimes it's okay to let it out, and we do want to let it out, but then let it go. Okay. Hey, here's a practice I've not just for you, Sophia, in this moment, if you can receive it, but a lesson I learned for myself. When we find anger, when we find reasons to be angry, it's fine to feel the anger and the sadness and the pain and the hurt and whatever else it is. But for how long? Okay, we get to decide how long is it going to matter. How long is my day going to be disrupted by what happened this morning or yesterday or 20 years ago?
You're right, Jack. Thank you for that. That's absolutely correct. And I have no idea why I have invested myself to this level into certain type of people other than the fact that I do love and care about God. Therefore, I'm supposed to love and care about people. But there does come a
Right.
point in time when you get hurt enough, you're done. And I'm
Sophia?
done.
Well, Sophia, I love you. I love you, your courage, your growth, your humility, your care. Your care is why. We are all. And Sophia, I see me in you. Okay. I I hear myself. The frustrations are real. So, but
Jack,
here's what
you're the one that they've done it to the most. Of all the people on YouTube, all these different channels, they've made fun of everyone, every single person. They've raked them and dragged them, but they've done it to you the most. So God bless you. If you can be in that mindset and have that kind of forgiveness and kindness, then you're a better man than I am a woman right now.
I've had a different experience and I've had more practice. I've had plenty of practice facing, well, I've admittedly, this has been my life story. I've dealt with bullies my entire life. And then it turned out the lesson I believe I was realizing is that I had been a bully to myself. And that's why I'd been bringing all of these bullies around. But now I have a different view of myself and others. And Sophia, I encourage you. Tarek, Hank, we are similar in the energy of love and care and honor, looking out to protect each other. Protecting others as well is what's within us. And we found ourselves with people who are confused, right? And so we get to discover our own confusion.
Jack, if I may, they are more than confused. They have turned their minds over to hate and deception, all the while saying that they are godly and that they know God. It is bizarre.
Right.
Okay.
And
So
Tarek
we want,
to you because they've drugged Tarek through the mud too, and he keeps
No. I'm not.
them.
Hold on, Sophia. Hold on. Thank you for that, but hold on. I got a question for you, but I want to let Jack finish first. Go ahead, Jack. I got a question for you.
thank you. What I wanted to offer is we don't want to drop to we don't want to follow their lead, Sophia. We don't want to drop into the hate and into the contradictions. We can help lead each other, help support each other, help raise each other, and we'll be the example for them to learn from. That's my goal. Go ahead, Tarek, please.
All right. What I was going to say is, Jack, we all have love. I don't care if you're on Paul's side, you're on this side, you're on anybody's side. I think every person has love. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, you know, I've been back and forth on these panels. You know, I've been around, I've been kicked, whatever the case may be, right? It's so easy to see through people that for you to say, for example, that Paul, for example, Sophia, that he has moved far away from that and that. You're wrong. Paul is very bright and smart. He knows what he's doing, and he can see through you just like I can see through you. And he can see through a lot of people. So for you to hate or love a person based on feelings, again, it shows your faith. It doesn't show that Paul is the bad guy. It shows that your faith maybe has to be tested. Because I don't hate Paul.
I'm gonna say it again, Terry. I'm the one true narcissist.
It's true.
I don't hate him either. And you're right. I agree with you, Tarek, and I don't hate him. I'm just angry with him right now, and it's okay for me to be angry.
But why? I know, but why are you angry? That's what I'm wondering. Why are you angry with Paul?
Have you met Paul? Do you know?
Sophia, Sophia,
yes,
Sophia.
I met Paul.
Here, Tarek, I mean, politely, Sophia, what you're angry at is your expectations. You had higher expectations.
Right. I thought that I could eventually help them understand certain things, help them understand that it wasn't okay to judge and condemn people, help them to understand that it wasn't okay to act like elementary school children and make fun of people all the time in chats and on videos and films, such as Talcott clip collections. Like, I really thought I could make a difference, but those people are so far down the beaten path, they don't have any decency left. It's a good game. They talk a big game, but they're not decent people.
Sophia, please. Oh, I love you.
I'm sorry. I'm very animated. I apologize. My voice is not calm, and I know it, and I apologize.
No, you're wonderful. I do want to remind you, you're here with friends, okay? And the thoughts are bringing the feelings that you don't want. So we don't have to continue the topic, but realizing, Sophia, what you might be feeling anger at is self-judgment of failing, because I've done that with myself. I do feel like I failed. I absolutely feel like I have failed. You hit the nail on the head. That's what it is, because we have faith in that love will overcome, that we can help heal. And well, what I've been learning is, by God's grace, all things happen. And so let's enjoy this moment together, right? I have faith the future is going to bring some miracles. People we think can't change, they will. Oh, and it's not so much that I want to change them. That's not my job. That's way above my pay grade. It's not about trying to change anybody. It's about trying to show them that everyone else is just as good as they are, with the exception of people who do harm, people who harm children or elders or animals, all the things that all of us know are wrong. That's not acceptable. That's not okay. And we all know that as adults, we all know that there is a line where things are not okay. Right. The problem is, though, what we get to humble ourselves to realize, God determines, God determines that which is, and that which is will include what others show us. Now, there's others, and here, I mean, we've been talking about the topic. Paul has hurt within himself, and it's very obvious and it's very clear.
He's wounded and he won't receive love. Yep. Even from the people that show up for him every day, he will not receive their love.
Not yet. He's learning. We're all learning life together and apart. So some of us learn love different ways. Some of us learn it at a different time. My hope is to help everyone who's tuning in, and those who I've met, those who from my past. I hope to help our world better understand love, because the human race is absolutely insane. Paul is an example of the conditioning, the egoic conditioning that's enabled by confused people. People are continuing to support anger and hate on a daily basis in our media, in our government, on these YouTube. There's no separation. It's all the same patterns. We just got to open our eyes and see what life is showing us together.
Jack, you don't even have to open your eyes, to be honest. You can just hear people, understand what they're going through and what their heart is saying. Because again, Sofia, I'm not picking on you today. I'm saying you because you know what I'm kind of like tired of a little bit. And I've been seeing on a lot of these panels, for some reason, the religious people, doesn't matter if you're Muslim, Christian, Jews, they're always pushing their religion on somebody, and somebody, they're uncomfortable with it. They're saying they're not receiving love. That has nothing to do with it. If Paul does not want to receive your love, which is not true, okay, I just think Paul sees through you. Whatever that means to you, you can interpret yourself. I know what that means to me. I see through Hank, I see you, Jack, and everybody. And I'm sure you can see through me, right?
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yes.
I do have love for Paul.
Okay.
I have had love for Paul.
I didn't say you don't have love.
Wait a minute. As far as religion,
I didn't say you don't have love for
Tarek, I have never once forced my faith.
Yeah.
Anyone. I'm not a religious person. I'm a person of faith. There is a difference. And I'm tired of people putting me into this category that I'm some type of holier than thou. You have to do it this way or you can't find God. I have never said that. There are other people who have said it. I haven't said it. I have not done that.
Well,
so you cannot accuse me of that. Just because I have a certain faith and a certain path, I'm not trying to push it on people, but I don't have to hide it or be ashamed of it either.
I understand.
Here, if I can pop in here, is what I hear Tarek offering is kind of a support of Paul, that Paul does have love. He shows it in unhealthy ways. And Tarek, I don't agree that Paul sees through everyone accurately. He projects a lot of his nonsense onto other people, which is what has been for over a year now. Paul's been looping his nonsense onto me. So maybe, I don't know if I misunderstood you or not, but Paul is he's wrong.
You gotta you misunderstood me a little bit. I never said Paul's perfect, right? But I'm not perfect and you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? What I'm saying is Paul's not perfect. So if you make,
he's not even close to being
he does not think he's perfect. I just think he's good.
Tarek,
no,
he admits, Tarek, he admits to no wrong. I've not really seen him offer any apologies or corrections. He throws these, I might be wrong. He throws these little disclosures, right? He's very manipulative, and he walks very finely so that he can't be proven wrong. He has little respect for what is true.
He tries to.
Yes, tries to. Thank you,
He
Hank.
fails. Tom gets him. I get him. Flow State gets him even the Flow State's not that accurate either. But Paul thinks he's slick and he's getting caught up in loops all over the place. It's like a 24-day loop at this point.
But Hank, with all the respect to every single panel member I met, I think Paul is the brightest guy I ever met on the panel. And I don't agree with Paul. I don't agree with Paul on everything.
That's what makes all this so sad. Paul does have a brilliant mind. He is smart. He understands rights and freedoms. He does.
It's no excuse for
he's not right, though. He's smart, but he has no wisdom whatsoever.
He has a lot of wisdom. You're wrong.
He doesn't apply it. He is not applying his wisdom. There's a difference.
Correct, Sophia. And Tarek, right. Let's not get caught up in his ego like he wants to. He has a lot of wisdom. He doesn't apply it. He contradicts himself consistently. And the most obvious thing is, regardless of what he may or may not know, his behavior is not acceptable.
So,
welcome, Goose.
Yeah, I appreciate
what's going on?
I appreciate you letting me be on it. Hi there, Moose. How you doing?
I'm doing
You're one of the guys that has some sense, and I actually like you. You get out of pocket sometimes, but for the most part, you're kind-hearted, and I appreciate you. But unfortunately, I do have to leave. I have to get home. I'm sitting in traffic, and I have to hop off of here. And thank you, Jack. And Tarek, if you're still listening, I'm not mad at you. I'm not part of whatever beef you got going on with all the other women on the panel verse. I don't know what happened, and I don't care, and I'm not part of it, and I'm not fighting with anybody. I just appreciate, Jack, that you understand where I'm coming from, because I have had it. I have had it. I'm done. I tried, and I failed, and I'm moving on, but I will occasionally be listening to you and some others. God bless you all, and I'm up and down. Thank you.
Bless you.
Sophia, drive safe out there. Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
I was just going to say, keep listening. Go ahead, Moose.
So I just got out of work, and I wanted to come up here real fast because I heard Tarek up here, sitting there talking about sucking on some of them gorilla balls again. And it's like, man, I thought these two broke up like 6 months ago. And every day he's still talking about them, comes on your panel, brings them up. It's like, why can't Tarek come over here to Jack's house and say, what's up, Jack? How are you doing today, Jack? Like, I'm here for the peace, the love, and whatever Jack has to present. Why do we gotta bring Paul up every single day? If you've got some kind of like relationship issues, maybe you should take them up to Paul, Tarek. That's all I gotta say about that.
Thank you.
This issue that Paul won't resolve anything because he likes to keep them all hanging open. So he actually did try that and it didn't work. That's why.
Got it.
And in defense, I guess, of Tarek, I think Sophia may have started with the conversations on Paul, and I had seen briefly. I glanced and I saw her name on the panel, so it didn't surprise me. But anyway, it's good to see you, Moose. It is good to see you, brother.
And I still have unfinished business with Tarek. He's still worrying about my tarot cards. He doesn't want to resolve it or business either. So I guess he has the same pattern.
Of course. Hey, welcome to Goblin as well. How you doing, brother?
The neighbor's mowing the lawn, so I gotta wait. Go ahead.
Respect. Thank you for sharing respect. Appreciate that. Holy cows. This chaos that's been going on, right? My faith is in the divine. The divine, it's a mystery. And the mystery is found through trying to see beyond what we see. If that makes sense, if you can follow along with that. It actually kind of reminds me of something else I realized. For those of you who are tuning in, whether it's now or later, there's a lot of people who have convinced themselves they can't understand me, or that they know what I'm going to say, such as Margot or Paul, whatever, all these people. But I encourage you, if you can allow yourself to understand me, then you can consider what I'm saying for yourself. And if you can consider what I'm saying for yourself, you may find a different perspective on life. And if you find a different perspective on life just by considering different ideas, lives transform. See, a change in perspective from me, it allowed me to stop believing I needed to drink every single day. I found a way to see the world differently and to see myself in different ways. And so what I want to encourage everyone to consider, what I've been accepting more and more for myself, that book, the Bible, everyone likes to refer to, right? And say, hey, go to that for God. The message of the New Testament that Christianity is founded upon, it's messages of love. Love unites us all. If we accept love, if we walk with love, if we can have faith in love, if we can trust in love, can we trust ourselves to love? Of course we can. If we forgive those who have hurt us, if we get over our past, maybe we fell in love with the wrong people, or maybe the people we loved or were told to love, maybe they hurt us. It's no excuse, right? Because we live today. And if we can live with love today, we've got hope to share for the future. Oops, what is this? But you still have changes in perspective yourself. And this means you too must accept the different perspectives of others. These are what you dismiss almost always across the board. I'm accused of that, yes. And I understand how it may appear.
Hey,
But I
Jack.
don't dismiss. Yes, brother.
So I was thinking, because like the way, we're supposed to love each other, love our neighbor, love, our community, and, we're supposed to love each other. I think to be able to love each other, we have to understand and accept each other where we're at. So like when it comes to, people that are like cockroaches or sloths or, just, you got to understand what they are. Like they're bed bugs, you don't want bed bugs in your house, but you understand that they're a necessary evil for something, right? So I think that's what I'm going to go. When I think of someone I don't like, I'm just going to say, look, I understand you're a cockroach, but I love you for who you are, and I accept you for who you are. Or is that wrong?
It's a step in the right direction. I love it. Whatever you can do to justify the love within yourself, do it. I encourage that. Here's a reminder I was thinking, right? Because another part of this experience where we pick up these patterns of we're carrying memories of each other, thinking we know each other today. Every day, people change. Every day, they learn different things. That's how I'm living. I learn and live and change every day. I'm discovering life. So we can presume that people we used to know showed us behaviors of cockroaches in the past. If we treat them like they're cockroaches and they're beneath us, well, that's probably how they're going to act. But what I've been really, really learning to do is just to appreciate, right? To trust that whoever is brought into my experience, I can find reasons to appreciate the moment and the experience.
Oh,
Make
Jack,
sense?
it makes sense. But I think my analogy sucked.
Okay.
I was thinking more like, how if there's a frog, right? Let's say there's a frog on a lily pad, and then there's a scorpion, right? And the frog goes to help the scorpion up, not knowing the scorpion's nature. The scorpion there stings the frog and they both drown, right? And so what I was trying to say is, like, I think that when you know what someone is like, I think that to love them, you also have to love yourself enough to know the boundaries of such things. Like, if you don't want to be bit by mosquitoes, right? So you put on bug spray when you go out. Same shit. Like, you got to protect yourself from these people, but you also have to love them, right? I'm trying to figure it all out.
To some degree, yes. Self-love means taking yourself around those who appreciate you. And self-love means removing yourself from those who don't appreciate you. And that's what I've been trying to do with Paul. I go back once in a while, and that's the thing too. People criticize me for going back. I allow him the opportunity to change, and I feel out the energy, and when it's no longer pleasant for me, I leave.
Yeah.
I mean,
what you need to understand is that it makes sense to, I'm going to extend your analogy, keep tabs of where all the scorpions are if they're dangerous to you. So that's what Jack is doing.
There's some of that too. You know, when I part of confidence, how about this? Part of self-confidence is realizing how you can minimize your own damages. You know, I'm very trusting with people because I know they can't really harm me. You know, they may slander me, and plenty have chosen to do that. Polly Boy and Flo and blah, blah, blah. The list is so
And me probably as the one true narcissist.
Hank, you're probably one of the most honest I've seen, to be truthful.
I hear that a lot.
You're able to see the other perspectives, different perspectives. Sometimes you bring out stuff I didn't even see. I'm like, huh, all right. Oh, back to the idea though of living, right? Here's something to consider for yourself. If we want to know love, when is the time? When are we going to know love? The only time is now. So if I can remember that now is the time to feel love. How do I feel love? I find my love. I feel love through gratitude, through appreciation, and just the simple appreciation of life. I mean, sincerely, guys, brothers and sisters, if you are tuned in here with me today, we are a part of something special. We're a part of bringing the world into a higher level of thinking, a more loving and aware consciousness throughout our collective. And I believe we're going to do that by helping each other feel safe in the present, in the presence of ourselves. And it's easy to feel safe with others when you have love abundant enough to share. And all we've got to do is break our habits of competing with each other, trying to outdo one another. How about we just focus on becoming the greatest adventure we can, right? So that when we do cross over the veil into the realm of mist and memories, we can remember our adventures and our time here together on Earth. What a mystery of life we have. Stop believing you know the future. Sincerely, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. But what we do know is now.
Jack, let me ask you this though, man. This is my experience, and so I just wanted to ask you about it. Okay, I've experienced love before. You know what I mean? It was one of the greatest feelings of my life, then and still to this day. And my heart's been broke, obviously, you know what I mean, at some point. And so I have shunned away from that for many years in my life. And then I had to reapproach that particular emotion. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to get back to that. But my question is it that a lot of people fear love out of bad experiences or because they've never had it? Like, it's not a bad thing.
No, you're right. Those are great questions, and I appreciate your testimony, brother. To admit that, I got hurt. I loved, and it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life, and then I lost, and it hurt. And now I'm trying to figure out how do I know that love again? That's, I think, part of our experience. What I've convinced myself, right? The way I dealt with the losses, and I didn't lose. I mean, I've been so blessed in my experience. I realize that my losses were just physical distances, emotional separations. But what helped me to realize is that even in their departure, even in their absence, I will always have the memories of the love that I can go to. And in our minds, I learned this through some online courses of NLP, neuro-linguistic patterning, processing, whatever you want to call it.
Programming, neuro-linguistic programming.
That's one way of saying it. It has been used for manipulation, but it's simply a recognition of patterns within the mind that are already there. What in that class, what was pointed out is the fact that in our minds, we can create these anchor points. And that's often where our patterns of trauma surface from. We've placed an importance and a high value upon these memories that we carry within us. I used to carry a lot of those painful memories to keep me angry because anger made me work harder. And if I worked harder, then I was a better man. This was all the bullshit this world had taught me, or I chose to believe from what I saw in the world. So back to the love. Once we experience the love, that memory is never gone. The energy of that experience is always there for us. It's a treasure. So allow yourself the bliss and the feeling, the recognition of that is possible. And if that is possible, with God's grace, with my faith, maybe even better is possible in my future. Life is kind of a mind game. Figure your mind out, you got it made. The answer is to be at peace. Hey, welcome back, Tark. Jump on in.
Yeah, Jack, how are you? Jack, I got a question for the panel, or anybody that wants to answer it. What is love based on? Because I've seen Goblin's question, I've seen what Moose said about Paul, and I'll answer that in a second, Moose. But what is love based on? Isn't God based on the truth and justice? Isn't that love? We have to define love first. It's not me cupcaking and me saying I like you.
My God, my God is the truth, the way, and the life. But that's my God.
Okay, but I got you. Well, no problem. I have respect to anybody's belief in their God or whoever they worship. That's no problem. But if we're coming down to it and asking what is love based on everybody's perspective, let's define love. What is it based on? It's not based on me liking you, Hank, or me liking Jack or anybody else. I'm not saying I shouldn't. It's based on the truth, right?
Tarek. Whoa, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt because I disagree.
Go ahead.
To say love is available when dislike is present, if you don't have like for one, then there's no appreciation. And without appreciation, love is absent.
Okay. I agree with you to a certain extent on that. But my question again, what do you base love? What is love based on?
How about love takes on so many mysterious forms for each of us. Love is not a thing, it's a power, it's an experience, it's an energy and a force. Life is
Yes.
love, right? And I agree,
Yeah.
Tarek. I agree with your idea that love includes justice. However, what perspective and who is determining what justice is?
You're right.
Because
Now, yeah, now we're on the same chord, I think. You're right.
Tarek, I just
Yeah.
got caught up in the chat for a second, and the guy Tribe down there is talking about butt love. I mean, what a coincidence,
would you
right?
please? That's
It's
not
Moose. I pay him no
Moose.
attention, Jack. Let him talk. It's okay.
No,
He's irrelevant. Irrelevant. And here's one thing, Jack, and maybe Han can attest to this a little bit. Okay, let's say I know a little bit about computers, even though I know more than that. Okay, if you, yes, okay. Let's say I need a program myself, and I
you're
put
breaking.
everybody's name and their characteristics in that computer, and what they do and what they say. That computer is able to actually give you 99% accuracy on what that person's going to say and do almost all the time. Why do people think that you can't do it as a
Because
human
it's
being and you
studying
see
you,
it a
Tarek.
thousand times
It's
better?
because it's studying you, Tarek. Your device is fit for you. And
You cut
justice
off a little
is
bit.
moral, in my opinion.
And unfortunately, they're not that good yet, Tarek. But let's assume they are that good. Then why not? Is because humans usually have less processing power than a network of computers. But yeah,
I didn't pay much attention, to be honest.
you shouldn't have. It wasn't worth you paying attention to.
I mean, I allowed my attention to go to the chat, but
Yeah.
here, and actually, let me pull this up, if I may. Sorry to change, but Homelander, good.
Thank you.
I want people. I hope people can turn to Christ, turn to the love of Christ, because that's right. That's why I brought up the book.
I always assumed Homelander followed Omni-Man, but that's just me. But thanks for clarification.
Well, the idea of this is to express God's love. It comes in many mysterious ways.
Okay, Jack, but that book has also faults and things that are not true in it, just like any other book.
Okay.
That's why I would trust a human being more. If the human being is honest and is with God, like in terms of connection, he's gonna have a better judgment, correct?
Well, I don't necessarily trust the judgment of men and women based on my personal experience anymore. I learned to even take my own judgment with a grain of salt, because life has shown me in the past that I was susceptible to being wrong, even though there was mountains of evidence to prove me right. So the book of the Bible, what I've taken away from that is love. The example of the Christ is a demonstration of natural law, common law, that we can all learn to grow into.
Okay. So, okay, I got a question for you. So if that's the case, why is Jesus's name changed to Jesus when it's not his name in the book?
I can't answer, Tarek.
The Romans.
I plan to ask God to answer that when I meet, but why things are, we can assume, we can guess. There's a lot of theories. And I've heard a lot of different theories, but from the testimonies of men and women who live, I
Yep.
have heard that there is an energetic power, a spiritual power that comes through the faith with that name, with that what is taught. I know that people have experienced miracles, healings. Just it happens.
Okay.
It's true.
I know. I'm not saying it
Eric,
doesn't, but you don't. Yeah.
if I may on
But you
this
don't.
one, if you read
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
read Josephus, Josephus in the writings of the Flavians, you'll find out a lot of information that's pertinent to the question.
No, I understand that. I didn't read it, but I understand. I'm just asking why was the name changed and praised
What I'm
in a
saying is that
global way?
the answer to
Is in
that
that?
question is right there in that
Oh,
group
okay.
of
All right.
documents.
Ladies and
I'll
gentlemen of the
I'll
chat
read
and
it.
jury, does Nubs look like Dan Bilzerian to you or not?
Moose, please.
Do I look like who?
Dan
Bilzerian.
Bilzerian.
I don't know who that is, but sure.
Look it
Whatever.
up. It's a billionaire and he's always on Instagram with a bunch of hoes.
No, I don't have a bunch of hoes. I'm just with a bunch of hoes normally. They're not mine though. Say, Jack, the reason I popped up is I've been using some of your great words of wisdom, like get out of your emotions and into the now and stuff, using that with my girlfriend. Dude, she's about to leave me. And I was wondering if you had any other better examples of, like I told her she was in her emotions and she almost slapped me, dude. Like it was dangerous. I was like, these are the wise words of Talcott and they are not working. So can you help me out?
So do you have enough HP or defense to just survive the slap? Because what I would do is just no-sell that slap. Let her hit you, no-sell it.
Hank, I'm not about violence. I told her that she needs to be in love as opposed to be in her fear or, anything like that. Talcott, you're saying yes, but it really did not work. It put me into fear. I had to live in fear.
No, he was nodding his head at the chat comment that he highlighted, and I have to say that Nubs, you're more of a troll than I am, sir.
Don't you have like 5 or 6 girlfriends, Dan? No, oh, you're not Dan. Okay, never mind.
What I might offer, it's a couple of things, Nubs. Number one, you've seen how it's not really been helping me, right? So for you to think you got a different, come on, man, come on, right?
You're right. You're right. I was in my disagreement. You're right. I told her that one, dude, let me tell you, when I told her she was in her disagreement and to be in the now, I thought she was done. I thought she was walking out and she was going to tell me she is going to be in the now.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest thing you've probably never done. That I would never do something like that. Do
it was scary.
What Nubs did and like don't do it.
Well, what
I faced down cops that had more self-control than that situation. I'm serious, Jack. Like those words almost put me in danger.
Right.
Let's do it to apologize. Just bring her on.
I'd actually love to address this if I could.
Go get her on here. That's what they do in that slavery. It probably works.
She left. Didn't you hear what I just said? Like she left. She might come back, but she left.
Call her to come on.
Jack, if you could address this, if you could be quiet, Hank, I'd appreciate it.
Well, when someone is in an emotional state and you're trying to bring them into the present, they don't want that. And so what I would offer is we want to be as gentle as we can to offer them so they can. What we're trying to do when someone is emotional and they're caught up in the past memories, the idea is to get them to see for themselves. I've done a poor job with it, and it's actually resulted in just what you said. People get fucking pissed at me and they blame me for how they feel. But the reality is, if they're throwing a temper tantrum, how you can't deal with them anyway. So
I told her that, Jack. I said straight up, your temper tantrum is just that. It's yours. Don't bring that to me. I'm telling you, it was dangerous. I know what you're going through, Jack. It was dangerous.
Well, Nubs, let me offer this, okay? Because this is someone you care about. It's someone you care about. And what I'm learning for myself.
He might just care about the way it feels.
What I'm learning for myself is the best way to reach people is, number one, to help them feel safe. It's okay for them to be emotional. And I'm growing in that because it bothers me. I mean, I've had to work through my own lack of patience with people showing their nonsense. But if we can be patient and allow them to
wouldn't know
feel
what you were
safe,
talking about on that one, Jack.
I know. That's all right. I didn't mean to distract. If we can be patient and allow them to feel safe, to get the emotion out maybe, and then especially if it's someone you care about, right? You've got a continuing relationship. If we can help them feel safe and then talk it through. And sometimes just talking through the emotions, we can see for ourselves, oh, geez, I guess I am acting a fool. I'm making a big deal out of nothing. I don't know.
Well, see, when I reached out and touched her, I gave her a smack on the ass and it all turned around. She was instantaneously gratified and grateful for my expression of love and affection. So
just like breaking a horse, isn't it, Nubs?
Exactly. Yes. So I think it might be a happy medium, maybe a good Jack Talcott talking to every once in a while to tell her to get out of her feelers. And then every once in a while, a good smack on the ass to remind her that I care.
Just a reminder that she's doing a good job, right?
Not abusive, Jack. Not that kind of smack. Like a sexual innuendo smack. Like, hey, how you doing type deal. It's that middle ground, I would say.
I'm not sure that works with him, though, because he follows all the OSHA requirements.
OSHA standards.
Well, I mean, there is a gray area in there, and that's what you guys were reminding me of. Actually, a little bit of comedy can actually go a long way just to kind of shift the energy, Not saying it's going to cure the issue, but...
Hey, sorry, great reminder. Comedy does help. And if we can find ways to help each other laugh at the problems, guess what? The problems don't seem so big.
That's right. And if comedy doesn't cure the itch, the doctor will.
Exactly.
What about cortisol?
No. I mean, see,
take it back, Jack. I know you had a message that was relevant, and
yeah, I'm trying to provide. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead. I'm trying to provide some sort of relevance and try to share some value with people, but I get people on the panel that just seem, what are you doing, Moose? Sincerely. Are you trying to sabotage my stream?
I think he is, Jack. I think he's trying to talk about cortisol and an itch that he's got that he's trying to give to you. It's like the 7-year itch, only, like the 7-person panel itch.
He's trying to be funny. And
you're not funny, Moose. Not at all.
Well, it is funny.
Jack, I'll tell you what he's trying to do. He's trying to spread, pound, and come together.
Well, this is the thing. Actually, here, holy crap. I was observing some of the human behavior on the other panel earlier, on one of the other panels earlier today, and noticing that many people alive today, they're so afraid of doing exactly what they're doing. Paul, He's been a topic for a while, or earlier today. Paul, he's so worried about people using him. He's so worried about being used. No one's going to use me. And what does he do? He uses me. He uses everybody around him. He takes. So there's nothing wrong with using yourself to share joy, to share love, to share wisdom, to help empower other people. We don't have to be afraid of helping each other. I mean, I actually think that's why we're here, but the way God designed us, people are so afraid of receiving help because if I receive help, well, that means there was something wrong with me. And we've got these personas. Everyone's got these personas in their head that they know better. Yeah, he caught me. I don't know. You know, I get accused of being too vague. I get accused when I'm specific. I don't know. Praise God.
Whatever it is, it's my fault because I'm the one true narcissist.
All right.
Jack, I've never felt used over at Paul's panel personally. But that's just me. I mean, maybe it's a different experience because we do have different experiences, Jack.
In order to be used, you have to be useful.
Jack, while you were mentioning what I was getting was projecting what one might fear. Do you care to entertain the concept of I am my own worst enemy?
Brother, we are our own worst enemy. And thank you. The insecurities within us, our worries, our judgment, our worries and our insecurities, they come from our judgment. And in this world of material design, we've been conditioned to jump to these conclusions based on what the world has taught.
Jack, I'm having one of those moments right now with Special K. She's down there in the chat acting like she's, having a derailing.
So where I was.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that.
I mean,
he's very disruptive. Very disrespectful, offers you nothing, little to nothing does that man or has that man ever offered you. Little. I mean, he did offer something.
Yeah, I can't say he's offered nothing because the background for even today came from Moose, from that month we worked together.
And not only that, but I mean, authentically, he is a funny guy. He does have a good personality. It's just sometimes when there's other conversations, it can derail. That's my opinion.
He's easily distracted, and he allows the distractions to be his entertainment, and then he tries to bring his entertainment into the group. But what he's not seeing is his lack of attention. Moose, had you... You know what? There's still a chance. One day, Moose, I think you and I should actually have a conversation about what could change with my support and your life, what you might be able to transform and accomplish.
He reminds me very much so of a small red squirrel that I have outside. Always constantly going from one place to another, chipping up when necessary, falling off of the bird feeder, not quite that. What an entertainment. I mean,
it is.
And it just seems like he's not in the now, man.
He loses track. It's a pattern of the ego. But honestly, I know I bring up this word ego, and it's not a bad thing. But if we don't pay attention to what we're doing, our ego patterns will make us look like clowns. I'm saying this like loosely. My alcoholism, in the midst of it, it was a disease, and my life was probably severely threatened. But in hindsight, I look at myself as a clown. How foolish was I? Holy cows. And it's because I lacked awareness. I lacked awareness because I was taught to look over my shoulder, to be afraid, to be distrusting. I can't trust anybody else. They're going to mislead me. They're going to lie. Well, guys, that's how the satanic realm has twisted everything. This is why we've got Joe Biden currently in the White House and Donald Trump as a future option again. This is insane, right? If we can learn how to trust in ourselves and trust in each other, we can grow greater than we ever did before. But if we keep fighting to do everything on our own, well, we're just like little children. God's like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, little children. You behave however you want. You can ignore the truth I offer you. You can pretend like the present doesn't matter. And that's what we do. The world has taught us to pretend like today doesn't matter. It's just one of many. Today's a gift. Yeah.
I just want to share this with you. Now, I would think that the majority of you guys already know I'm not really political. I don't care. I feel it's the same bird. I did want to share this, though. Do you know what Joe did to put his own son through college, and then he grew up to be how he is today? The man went all the way completely out of his way, traveled on a bus or a train or something consistently daily to make sure that this happened. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because what I'm noticing in people in positions of power, some of them start with a struggle, and then when they get right, it's like, okay, well, screw everyone else. It's mind-blowing, man.
Well, ultimate power corrupts, and power corrupts ultimately, or something along those lines. I stole it right out of your thoughts, Jack. I saw that, Jack. It was there, and I just grabbed that light bulb, and I put it in, I plugged it in, I had to say something. Go ahead.
No, it's true, though. But this is the thing. We've been confused about where power lies. People have been convinced to believe that there's power in authority, that there's power in wealth. Those are lies. The power comes from our will. The power comes through our desire. What are we willing to do? What are we willing to accomplish? That's where the power comes from. And that power is supported of what do you want? What do you will yourself to accomplish? What will you experience in your future? The world doesn't want you to think of the future. And if it does want you to think of the future, it wants you to think of war and poverty and scarcity and division. That's not the future we want. Let's focus on what we want. Because right here and now is where we live today. And today I feel love. I feel so much love right now because it's available.
No offense, Jack, but I'm not giving you a hug, buddy. I'll give you a handshake, but no hugs. Too personal.
No worries. I can respect personal boundaries like that.
And Hank, don't even ask. Don't even ask, Hank.
I wasn't asking you. I was going to say another free hug from me, from Jack, since you're giving yours away.
There you go, man. I am a hugger too, actually. I've been a hugger for a long time. Hey, actually, I think that was a question Goblin had, if I can jump back to that, about there is people in life who may not know real love, who may not know real compassion, real care. I thought I knew love. I knew egoic love. I knew love with conditions. I had to be good enough in order to receive love as I was growing up. And most of the time I wasn't good enough. I was good enough to get yelled at or punished, but the love just, it's a different experience. And I know there's a lot of people who grew up with just pain and suffering instead of love. And So there's many people who don't understand what love is, but what I realized, I can share love for others, and it doesn't matter who they are. And I get to share love for others, whoever comes into my experience, the best way I can. And I share the love because it feels good to me, to be honest. It's kind of selfish. I like feeling love.
If I can address Jeep's question down there about Job, his last name is Jenkinson. Job Jenkinson. They just didn't want to put the name of the book as Jenkinson because Job was so much shorter and so much easier in the Bible.
I was just putting out the point, would it actually make a difference? Like, would it add or take away from the message?
Absolutely. Jenkinson makes all the difference. Just think about it.
Okay.
All right. As long as you thought about it, I'm okay with that.
I don't know.
Well, what else would it be, Talcott? I mean, Job Jenkinson just makes sense. And if you look at the ancient script, it's all there. I mean, he was a hugger.
You know, yeah. I think, here's something I was observing too. We've got so many people in this world because of the egoic personas, because of these positions of power and authority and influence. Got all these people running around this world today acting like they're so damned important, right? Like the whole world is revolving around them. The future of America, it's all on the shoulders of Donald Trump, don't you know? And then we've got people in our cities and our communities running around telling each other how good they're doing. I'm guilty. I used to do this myself. And I'm proud of the work I did. I'm not ashamed of the things I've accomplished and the things that I've done. I do know in the bigger picture, I didn't amount to shit, right? I didn't accomplish life-changing things, transforming, really making a big difference. But I
Well, see, that's because you're in the past, Jack. This is the now, man. Get with the now.
Hey, Nubs, thank you. That's the perfect reminder because that was then, and today, I'm not done. I'm not done.
It's the one-man band thing that I was talking about last time. It's all about it. I mean, obviously, they did it one way that, well, we won't discuss that. However, it was still a way that got through to the people. And the people were subservient to their rule because they knew it was done out of love.
They believed.
Right.
See, believe.
All you got to do is get them to believe. I mean, the Freak has been trying that on every single panel he's ever been on.
Well, this is the thing. There's a lot of truth to this. Belief prevents a knowing. And yet
absolutely
there is no knowing without a belief. Okay. So the key is to find the balance, to expand the knowing and minimize the belief. But what the ego mind does in the absence of answers, in the absence of life showing the answers, the ego mind will imagine, and then through the power of mind working with the universe, it will find the facts to prove itself correct. The ego will. We live in a world of fantasy where men and women are literally dying and suffering. They're being denied education. They're being denied food. Today, right now, in this moment, men and women are suffering because of poverty. Poverty is actually a failure of our society. It's not an individual problem, just like addiction is not an individual problem. They suffer, the individual suffers, and the community suffer from poverty and addiction. But what heals us all, guys, everyone, please, it's just obvious and logical. We come into this world whole, pure, right? And in our minds and emotions, we allow ourselves to become fractured, denying who we are, denying who others are. And then we got a world of denial.
Well, by denying somebody else, aren't we denying ourselves? And when we deny ourselves, I mean, that is definitely not new levels of pleasure.
Well, we could be denying ourselves if we're being of service to others. That's the whole thing about being selfless, right?
Okay.
But by being in service to another, you're not denying yourself. You're giving yourself the most purest form. In fact, Paul would say in the New Testament, he says that the service to women and children is true religion, the widows and the fatherless. That is true religion, according to Paul in the Bible.
I see that side of that as well. What I was getting to, though, is I wanted to prove why love wins. Okay?
Please.
The reason why love wins is because in that square and compass that everyone has such a big issue about, that G, that is the law of care.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's personal care first and foremost. Think about it. If you're not selfish, how can you help another? If you can't help yourself, how is it that you're able to help another in any capacity? You know, a good word? Sure. Nevertheless, if you're in, and I'm speaking for myself first and foremost, because I've been in places where I've really wanted to help out, but I wasn't able to. I couldn't even help myself. I mean, we've all been there.
Well, yes, and I've held myself back saying I can't help others because I gotta help myself, and I felt miserable. And then the more I've been leaning into this living a life of faith, dude, I can't help myself. I've given my last dollar away so many fucking times, right? And helping others, I feel better. I know helping others is helping me. So I've actually started leaning into, if there's an opportunity to help improve someone's life, even if it's just a, hey, here's a better mood if you're willing to receive it. If I can help someone, I do. Because this is the problem. America's not helping the rest of the world because we got to help ourselves first. But then we're not fixing the problem. We're just allowing someone else to fix the problem because we can't help ourselves. We need someone else. Nubs, you're muted, man.
Isn't helping another helping yourself indirectly? And that's really what I'm coming at it with. I think you guys misunderstood, because the best way to help myself is to help another, which helps me.
I didn't misunderstand it. I was actually picking up on what both of you guys said, and I believe that you guys are both correct regarding what we're speaking on. And
well, there's many roads, sir. There's many roads.
I believe that both perspectives are authentic.
We're there. Hey, I want to thank, but I'm feeling like maybe it's time to wrap up. A little bit shorter, but I'm feeling whole and complete.
It's always good to wrap up.
Sometimes you want to leave them wanting a little bit more so that they are willing to return, right?
I always leave them wanting more, Jack. Come on now. You know, the only problem is some of us, it should have been wrapped up for us like a long freaking time ago. I mean, that's just, our parents should have wrapped it up for some of us. I'm just saying, you know. Anyways, y'all have a blessed one. What's that? What are you advertising on Jack's show?
Well, he said your parents would wrap it up, and here's a prop for you.
Oh, it's a very small condom. Is that a finger condom, sir?
Jack.
Anyway,
I'll be the first to get out of here, Jack. I just wanted to say good to see you, Hank. Good to see you, Nubs. Jack, get a hold of me. All right.
Good to see you, Goblin King.
Have a good day.
Blessings, brother. You as well. Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Jack, you can't hold me on that one. That is a tiny fucking condom. You gotta look at that thing and be like, yeah, that's like, whoop. Anyways, I'll leave you with that. Great condom conversation. Wrap it up. Always wrap it up. Wrap it up. Many years ago, the whole 9 yards. You have a wonderful day, buddy.
You as well. Thank you, Nubs. Appreciate you. And sincerely, actually, Nubs, genuinely, after our past exchanges, things are becoming much more pleasant and enjoyable. And I do appreciate what Hank brought, what Tark brought, Sofia brought. I'm probably missing some. Even Moose, I'll appreciate Moose too. I appreciate all of you who join in here in the present, those who tune in at a little later. Thank you. What I hope to remind, right? Just plant these little seeds of thought. A question for you to consider for yourself. Can you accept an overwhelming love for you, a love that you've never experienced in the worldly realm? Can you accept that there is a love that is so deep, so genuine, so pure, so true for you? It's here with you right now. And that love is just waiting to be known by you. And the way I know this love, the way I allow my mind to consider this love, is by this thought. There is one universe that we are at this one time a part of, and we are all experiencing this time in this one unfoldment of time together. And there's a divine mind from which all of this is happening. And that divine mind allows me the consciousness, the awareness of knowing today. That mind I know as God's mind. It's far greater than mine. That mind that's beyond my mind, that's where I go to the answers. But I pay attention because this God of ours is mysterious, so good, so generous, so mysterious that it reveals everything perfectly to us. So to align myself with the divine mind that's greater than my mind, so that I might know and experience that abundance of love that I know is available, well, all I have to do is remind myself of the way of the Christ. Love is the truth, the light, and the way to lead ourselves from the corruption of insecurities and worries, to lead ourselves from the corruption of sinful choices, egoic foolishness, self-sabotage. The way to overcome that nonsense is to align yourself with the divine mind that's with you, to know the divine love that is you. And so the way I've been reminding myself today, another reminder, I see the world through eyes that were not created by me. These are God's eyes. I see the world and I see you through the eyes of God. I know this world through the mind of God. I don't want to allow corruption within me. I want to be aligned with the pure, divine, holy mind that is. And right now, brothers and sisters, now is the only time that we are. So settle in, please. Ask yourself, can I know God's love for me? And can I share God's love through me for the world to see? I think you can. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, on whatever platform you join, thank you again. Do the algorithm thing, subscribe, share, support, and tune in again in the future. Let's see what the future brings. To everyone, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all.